What does it truly mean to live authentically? And how can vulnerability become your greatest strength? We live in a world where it's so easy to wear a mask, to hide who we really are. But what if I told you that by embracing your true self and opening up to vulnerability, you could unlock deeper connections, stronger resilience, and real personal growth? In today's video, we're going to explore how embracing authenticity and vulnerability can transform your life and help you thrive. Authenticity is the foundation of personal transformation, yet so many of us struggle with it. And vulnerability, well, it's often seen as a weakness, when in reality, it's a superpower that allows us to connect more deeply with ourselves and others. In fact, research shows that people who embrace vulnerability are not only more resilient, but also lead happier and more fulfilling lives. These aren't just abstract concepts. They're crucial to your growth, to finding your purpose, and to living a life that's truly your own. So, what does it mean to be truly authentic? Being authentic means showing up as you are, without fear, without pretenses. But it's not always easy. Society pressures us to fit into boxes, to be perfect, to be what others expect. We hide parts of ourselves out of fear, fear of judgment, fear of rejection. But here's the truth. You can't be truly fulfilled until you're living in alignment with your true self. And what about vulnerability? Often, we think of vulnerability as weakness, something to hide. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Vulnerability is the courage to be seen, to risk failure, and to open yourself up to meaningful relationships. In fact, studies show that vulnerability leads to stronger relationships, deeper connections, and even greater success. It's not about having all the answers. It's about being open to learning and growing. Let me share a few real-life stories of people who've embraced authenticity and vulnerability, and how it changed their lives.
I was always afraid of showing my true self at work. As a creative professional, I often second-guessed my ideas, worrying that they wouldn't be good enough. For years, I kept quiet, only sharing the safe options I thought others wanted to hear. But one day, I took a leap. I presented a bold, authentic idea that truly reflected my creative vision. To my surprise, not only was it well received, but my team saw a new side of me, a side that sparked deeper collaboration and respect. By embracing my authenticity, I found that vulnerability wasn't about risking failure. It was about taking a chance on what truly mattered to me. And it paid off.
I had always been the strong one in my friendships, the one who gave advice but never asked for help. I feared that if I opened up about my struggles, my friends might see me differently. But after going through a difficult breakup, I decided to share my feelings with a close friend. I was surprised to find that not only did my friend offer support, but the act of sharing brought us closer. My vulnerability deepened our connection in ways I hadn't imagined. I realized that true strength isn't about having it all together. It's about being brave enough to let others in. That vulnerability allowed me to build more meaningful relationships.
I was a perfectionist, believing that if I wasn't perfect, I wasn't good enough. This fear held me back from taking on new challenges and putting myself out there. But when I was asked to speak at a community event, I decided to push past that fear. I knew I wasn't going to deliver a flawless speech, but I showed up anyway. And guess what? I stumbled over my words, forgot a few lines, and even cracked a joke about it. The audience loved it. By embracing my imperfections, I found confidence in my vulnerability. Instead of striving for perfection, I learned to show up as my authentic self. And that was enough.
Thus, stories show that authenticity and vulnerability aren't about being perfect or having all the answers. They're about showing up as you are, taking risks, and building deeper connections along the way. So, how can you start living more authentically and embracing vulnerability in your daily life? Here are 4 powerful strategies that can help you on this journey. The first step is self-reflection. This is about getting to know who you truly are, beyond the roles and expectations placed on you. Start by journaling about your values, your passions, and the things that make you uniquely you. Ask yourself questions like, what do I want in life? What brings me joy? Who am I when no one's watching? When you take the time to reflect, you start to uncover the parts of yourself that may have been hidden or neglected. This awareness is the foundation of living authentically. Next, take small steps to open up to the people you trust. It can be as simple as sharing your thoughts and feelings with a close friend or family member. Vulnerability doesn't mean baring your soul to the world. It starts with those little moments of honesty in safe, supportive spaces. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. Everyone struggles with vulnerability at times, but the more you practice, the easier it becomes. And in doing so, you strengthen your connections and build deeper relationships with those around you. Another powerful way to embrace authenticity is by surrounding yourself with like-minded people. Look for communities, whether online or in person, where sharing and openness are encouraged. These can be support groups, creative circles, or even communities focused on personal growth. There's something incredibly empowering about finding others who are on a similar path. In these spaces, you can share your journey, hear the stories of others, and feel supported as you grow. It's a reminder that vulnerability creates connection, and none of us are alone in our experiences. And finally, be kind to yourself. Living authentically means accepting that it's okay to be imperfect. We all have moments where we feel we're not enough, but practicing self-compassion allows you to embrace those imperfections with grace. Self-compassion is the key to navigating the challenges of vulnerability. When you're kind to yourself, you create a safe space within where it's okay to try, to fail, and to learn. This is where real growth happens, when you give yourself permission to be human. So, to recap, here are 4 strategies to help you embrace authenticity and vulnerability in your life. Self-reflection. Start by journaling about your values and what makes you uniquely you. Open up. Take small steps to share your thoughts and feelings with trusted friends or family members. Join supportive communities. Find groups where openness is encouraged. These spaces can be incredibly empowering. Practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself, accepting that it's okay to be imperfect, and to embrace the journey at your own pace. Living authentically and embracing vulnerability isn't easy, but it's one of the most powerful things you can do for your growth, your relationships, and your overall well-being. By letting go of who you think you should be and embracing who you truly are, you unlock the potential to live a life full of purpose and meaning. So, I encourage you, take that first step today. Show up as yourself. Be brave enough to be vulnerable. You deserve to live a life that's true to who you are. Now I want to hear from you. What does authenticity mean to you? How has vulnerability helped you connect with others? And don't forget to subscribe for more tips and strategies on how to design a life filled with purpose and growth. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.